Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. Now, I'm still coming off the high last night from meeting Zack Snyder at the EP Music Inspired by launch for Rebel Moon Part 2. We did a book signing there, and this news dropped yesterday afternoon when I was gearing up for last night. I just wanted to jump on here and talk about it because it has to do with the Matrix, and the Matrix is very near and dear to my heart. So apparently there is a Matrix 5 in development with the Wachowski siblings not in the director's chairs, but apparently one is staying on as a producer. We have the director of The Martian, or the writer of The Martian supposedly, coming on to direct the film, but this just begs the question, do we really need a fifth Matrix film? Especially after the abysmal film that was Matrix Resurrections, or Matrix Killed My Erection. In terms of the first Matrix, it was perfect. You literally could have just left it at the first film. I was happy and satisfied with what I saw, even though I was a little young pup. Over the years, I've appreciated the film a lot more on a technical level, but also a storytelling level. The symbolism, everything about it was just so damn good. Not to mention the fact that they filmed it in my hometown of Sydney. A lot of friends of mine's parents got to work on the film, and it just generated a lot of income for the city. They also went on to do Reloaded and Revolutions here in Sydney as well. Well, not here at the moment because I'm here in New York. But when it came to Matrix Reloaded, I was in year 9 when it came out. And that was a quick turnaround when it came to Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions, because there was, that 6-month span between the films coming out, because they shot those films back to back. But again, when it came to Reloaded, I thought it was pretty good. Was nowhere near as perfect as the first film. But then when it came to Matrix Revolutions, it was an absolute bore fest with just a 2-and-a-bit-hour exposition dump. Just a lot of talking. And I know that can come off as like really dismissive in terms of saying there's too much talking, because sometimes all the dialogue in the world can be so damn good as opposed to action, but the dialogue just was not good. The only redeeming quality about Revolutions, to me anyway, was the Neo and Smith fight at the end in the rain. Very Dragon Ball Z-esque, but you honestly could have just left it at the first Matrix. I felt it wrapped everything up. We see Neo fly away. He has finally become the one. Whoa. And then yeah, Matrix Reloaded was like half-half, and then Revolutions, no. But a few years ago, and I did not do a review on this because I wasn't really doing every movie review on the Cosplay Chris channel at that time. I hadn't started this channel. We got Matrix Resurrections. With Lana Wachowski in the director's chair, we see the return of Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss. No return of Lawrence Fishburne this time, but we have an alternate Morpheus. And the film, unfortunately, just did not live up to the legacy of what the first film had started. I thought it was quite weak in terms of storytelling, the dialogue. And I know this is very, particular, but Keanu looked like John Wick in the fourth Matrix film. I think when he has that long hair and the beard, that to me is John Wick. I know he looks a bit strange, clean shaven these days, especially after Bill and Ted Face the Music. But it was so distracting, so I'm like, dude, you just keep looking like John Wick. To me, you do not look like Neo. There were some interesting story elements where it had this kind of meta approach that Thomas Anderson was a game developer and he was creating the Matrix games, and then he gets pulled back into the Matrix and we see the return of Trinity, who supposedly is Trinity, a real person in real life with a family, and then they meet at a coffee shop. But then we also have Neil Patrick Harris, and then we have another bloke that's quote-unquote Agent Smith, and to me, the only Agent Smith is Hugo Weaving. No one else could play that part, and usually I'm one of those people that's like, no, I think it's left up to interpretation for any actor to portray X, Y, and Z. But in the case of Agent Smith, Hugo Weaving made it his own, and it's just really distracting to see this younger bloke in the film supposedly be a version of Smith. And to me, it just felt like slapdash writing because a couple of actors didn't return for the film. But yeah, supposedly Warner Brothers is developing a fifth Matrix with screenwriter Drew Goddard in the director's chair, who was nominated for an Oscar for The Martian. So the article I'm going to be referencing comes from Variety, and they go on to say, Warner Brothers is going back to The Matrix. The studio announced that a fifth Matrix movie is in development. It'll be the first installment without Lana or Lily Wachowski as directors. Instead, The Martian screenwriter Drew Goddard will handle filmmaking duties. He will also write the script and produce with his partner at Goddard Textiles, Sarah Eisberg and Lana Wachowski, who helmed the most recent Matrix installment, 2021's Resurrections, is attached as an executive producer. Okay, so backtracking to the beginning of the video, Lana Wachowski is supposedly on as an executive producer. It's not clear who from the Matrix universe, Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, have anchored all of the prior movies as Neo and Trinity. while Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Jonathan Groff, Neil Patrick Harris, and Priyanka Chopra Jones joined in the most recent iteration will return. Plot details haven't been revealed, but Warner Brothers Motion Pictures President of Production, Jesse Ehrman, teases that the story will advance the fantasy world without straying too far from what made the original series a success. So this is very intriguing, that little piece of writing right there, whether or not the original cast are going to be returning and then they're going to expand upon the mythology of the Matrix. I think you could totally do an anthology series within the Matrix, much in vein of the Animatrix. You know, we had Final Flight of the Osiris. When the Animatrix came out, it was so good, and it still holds up to this day. I love the fact that it's different styles of animation from different filmmakers, different stories to tell, but it all just keeps the continuity of the Matrix going and the mythology, and expands upon the mythology of the Matrix. But if going by this, if it's going to be anything like Matrix Resurrections, I am not all for this, man. I do not think we need a fifth Matrix film unless the writing is so on point and it kind of answers for what happened in Matrix Resurrections and just the poor storytelling of that film. Look, I'm all for it, absolutely. But at this stage, like I said, I feel like you could have just left it at the first Matrix. I'm still glad we got Reloaded. Those were fun times to be a Matrix fan, and they just obviously didn't hold a candle to the first film. But at the same time, after being burned by Resurrections, I don't have faith in this. And if you are indeed going to be getting Keanu Reeves, Carrie-Anne Moss, and if Lawrence Fishburne does indeed return, I just feel like it's beating a dead horse. Those characters have had their time in the sun. Those characters have had their story told. I feel like there's no need to further those stories. New characters, passing of the torch, sure, absolutely, but with some damn good writing and a story that makes sense to continue on from what was established. So guys, with that being said, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts on the idea of a fifth Matrix film. Look, it is nice that a Wachowski sibling is indeed having a hand in the production. It just kind of keeps the bloodline going. Like, obviously this is their baby, but I just feel like it's been so watered down. It's no longer what we started with in 1999. And again, if it's anything like Matrix Resurrections, no thank you.
Why? Why do you do it?
Love you guts, and I'll catch you in the next one.